Game 2, Phoenix Suns in LA, the city of angels, if you will. No KD. Yeah, right. No Booker, no Beal. Only KD is what the Phoenix Suns had tonight. And unfortunately, KD could have used a Robin or two out on the court with him. Suns only score 95 points. They lose 100 to 95. KD goes for 39 points, 11 rebounds. A beautiful game for him individually. But as a team, the fourth quarter Suns, Matthew, they didn't look very good, did they?
They didn't. Kevin Durant, could he shoulder the load? He did for a while. It was too much for him tonight. Great effort, though, man. And it's nice that LeBron can really save his energy for the end of the game. Came through and, finished us off.
Well, that's ultimately what it came down to is Kevin Durant had to carry his team through the first three quarters. LeBron James could lie in wait and when the moment was right, attack. When the game was 87-87 after the Phoenix Suns through the first 8 minutes of the quarter had scored a grand total of 3 points, that's when LeBron James turned it on. Ultimately, the Lakers closed on a 13-7 run, or 13-8 run, I'm sorry, and win the game by 5. Season's over, and I just want to thank everybody for joining us for all of our post-game podcasts because it's been real, it's been nice, and tonight it just wasn't really nice.
Not nice at all. It is over. Bunch of injuries, 1-1. I wanted to go undefeated. So says Jay.
Sorry, 82-0.
82-0 is not happening. I wanted it as much as you wanted it, but it's not going to happen. So we might as well just give up.
Yeah, I don't even know why we do this. It doesn't make any sense. We can't go 82-0 now, and I'm sorry for that, Suns fans. But what I'm not sorry for is spend a little time with you after this game to talk about what we saw tonight here on the Suns Jam Session podcast. So if you get a chance, hit that thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to the podcast, leave us a 5-star review. Follow him at Matthew Lissley. Follow me at Darth Voida. Follow the show at Suns Jam. Whatever. Do what you want. Do what you please. Pop it open if you got it. And let's talk about this game against that there Los Angeles Lakers. That's right, Suns fans. It's 100-95. Phoenix Suns lose their first game of the season. Now, 1-on-1, they split the road trip that included Golden State and Los Angeles Lakers, which brings me to my first question for Matthew this evening.
Oi, Matty. Mate, I've got to ask.
I've got to ask this question because it's eaten alive at me. It's one of those things where when you sit there and you watch the game and you're seeing the efforts of Kevin Durant tonight, right? You're seeing how when he's out there, there's fluidity to the offense. There's fluidity to the defense, even with some great plays. He ultimately, at one point, was like a plus 29 in this game, ends as a plus 18. But without Bradley Beal, without Devin Booker, the hell happened to the second team unit in this one, man?
Like, where did they go after the first half?
Where did they go, period? They did the same thing in the second quarter.
Yeah, I don't know.
No KD. They were very, very bad.
Oh, yeah, without KD. Yeah, absolutely terrible. But what do you expect? That's why KD had to play the 39 minutes tonight, dude.
Yeah.
He had to come in, just make sure that he can keep this game close, give the Suns a chance in the end. He tried his best, and I thought the minions around him while he was on the court did a good job of keeping it close. But when he's gone, man, it's just like when mommy leaves and you just don't know what to do for dinner. So you just start making up imaginary food, kind of like Peter Pan.
Yeah, it was. You look at it, obviously, KD plays the entire first quarter, 12 total minutes. And I think that it's, only appropriate that we do give him his segment.
Who the heck are you?
I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
Did anybody see a sniper? Did anybody see anything?
I'm one of the best players to ever play the game.
Yeah, Kevin Durant in this game, 39 total points. He did so on 14 of 28 shooting, including 10 of 13 from the free throw line, grabbed 11 boards, had 2 assists, 1 steal, 8 turnovers in this game, which isn't sexy in any way, shape, or form. But that first quarter, he played all 12 minutes. He was a plus 12, comes out at the front end of the second quarter, is out for about 7 minutes. The team just loses all fluidity, all playmaking ability, just no identity, just a bunch of shooters standing out there like, oh, shit, I have the ball, but I'm not open. Who can get me this ball when I'm open? He comes back in. He's a plus 7, has 9 points in that 5 minutes and 55 seconds he played in the second quarter. Third quarter comes out, plays all 12 minutes, 5 of 6 from the field, 15 points. The Phoenix Suns at that point are up, and they're up big. They're up by like 12. And then that fourth quarter happens. He plays 9 minutes and 28 seconds because the Suns instantly give up 8 points. In that final quarter, they score 11 points. KD has 9 of them. KD has 9. Eric Gordon was a negative 17 in the fourth quarter. The team is outscored 28-11. They shoot 5 of 20 from the field, 25%, 1 of 8 from beyond the arc, 12.5%. And there's your ball game, folks. Fourth quarter. I mean, this game was right there. And that's the thing. We'll walk away from this. And I don't think that we're worried as Suns fans, but we'll walk away from this like, let one get away, didn't we?
Yeah, there was a lot of miscommunication out there. I mean, those turnovers that KD had, about 8 of them, it was really just the guys cutting. I mean, Marv really pointed it out that they were cutting. They were trying to, maybe it was Marv, or I'm not going to give Richard Jefferson any credit tonight. They were just kind of cutting towards him. So he was always passing to him, but he was passing towards the outside. They were cutting in. The balls were going out of bounds. So the miscommunication was a big thing. Also, just KD got really hot there, man. Like he had the 29 points or the 26 points in the third quarter. I'm like, where the fuck did that? It's just like kind of snuck up on you with the 15 points in the third. All of a sudden he's at 31. And then it's just like, oh, he's cooking. And then once he starts to cook, he's going to take every shot. So they I feel like the offense just relied on him for everything. And just like, hey, just let him go to work, because he was just jacking up threes, trying to take difficult shots, but they were falling early. It just, he got tired, right? In the first quarter, he was just so drenched, dude. Drenched in sweat, just like could not breathe. He was 3 for 9. He was getting to the free throw line, which looked good. And then the shot started to fall finally, because the big talk really is just KD's kind of looked like in the first game, he looked like he did in the playoffs. First quarter, he kind of looked like that again, but then all of a sudden, second quarter, third quarter, it started to fall. Fourth quarter, got too tired. I'm not too upset with the bench and stuff. I think just the miscommunication, just not knowing really what to do with KD on the floor. Even Nurkic having a hard time with him, like KD, or try to throw that bounce pass going towards the rim, and KD was kind of going the other way. KD looked frustrated with that, so I don't really blame him there. But I don't blame these guys for being like looking the way they look tonight. Like it's one of those things where it's like Beal and Booker out these 2 games and are the second game, and it's like you didn't expect that, did you? You know what I mean? So
no,
to hold in against a Lakers team that's full strength basically, and to really just take every punch by Anthony Davis and then LeBron James at the end closing it out, I thought it was a well-played game by them. It's just KD went cold and he just got too tired, and this was his game to win. I'm not saying this is all pressure on KD, but KD, he just wanted this, right?
Yeah.
Passing Hakeem Olajuwon for 12th in all-time scoring, like that's huge. And I think he just wanted to kind of close this one out tonight and just couldn't get it done, which is fine. Didn't expect him to. I kind of thought this might be a loss. So
yeah. Going into this, I definitely thought that this was going to be a loss, just based on the fact that we were down 2 of our big 3, that Anthony Davis showed a week ago when we played the Lakers in the preseason that he can just have his way with Yusuf Nurkic. Like, there's no planet in which Yusuf Nurkic is on the same level as Anthony Davis, and at times Anthony Davis knows it. I mean, Anthony Davis ended tonight with 30 total points, I think 13 rebounds, 30 and 13 for Anthony Davis. He was 10 of 17, great field goal percentage, 1 or 2 from beyond the arc, and 9 of 10 from the free throw line. And we knew that was going to happen. We knew that he was going to be somebody who was going to dominate this game. The fact that Kevin Durant did what he did kept us in the game, because, again, as you mentioned, not only when he was not on the court, the team had a lot of miscommunication. They just lacked chemistry. The talent's there. The chemistry's not there yet. And that's one of the challenges with this game, obviously, is both Eric Gordon and Grayson Allen got the start in this game. So what does that mean? Well, that means your overall depth is going to be depleted because those are your guys who should be coming off the bench, who are going to be playing against second-team unit guys who can light them up. Eric Gordon is not going to be shooting 16 shots a night for the Phoenix Suns. In this case, he was 6 of 16 for 15 points, but that's not going to happen. But the Suns, and what Frank Vogel did is he went to a 9-man rotation tonight. And I thought that was kind of interesting. And I think this might be the first time this year that I have to ask the Jamsters ever so politely to cover their ears for the Frank Vogel drop. Thought it was interesting some of the decisions that Frank Vogel and his team, his coaching staff made in this game, and some of them were good and some of them were not. I think defensively, the Suns had a defensive strategy to deploy, and they did it successfully through the majority of this game. It was, they were doubling isolations. They had active hands. They were in passing lanes. They were dropping defenders on the weak side. And you could see and you could feel a defensive strategy be in place, which is something, at least for me as a Suns fan, that I didn't necessarily feel happen during the Monty Williams era. Did you see the defensive strategies in place for the Phoenix Suns tonight, Matthew?
Yeah, I did. I think it just kind of stuck out more with Kogi and Goodwin just kind of doing their shit. To me, I think the guys that kind of took like the bad end of this or the short stick on the on the defensive end was kind of Yuta. Yuta out there was kind of having a hard time keeping up with everybody, and also just Grayson Allen. I think he's having a tough time really keeping up in these games. He looks a little lost to me in my head. I'm just like, is he out there playing 100%? Is he actually giving a full effort, a full fuck? That's how it kind of looks. Obviously he is, but he's just getting outplayed every time defensively. When it goes down to the bigs, it was just a tough one again for Nurkic and Eubanks. Just couldn't do anything. So defensive schemes, of course, like I have to go back and watch the tape. I have to look at the film, John, to really just break down the defense, but they just kind of got screwed over all night. But, a lot of missed shots by the Lakers, a lot of good shots. Like LeBron hit the guy in the corner, miss, little like 16-foot shots that kind of looked like they were wide open, just missed. So the Suns kind of got lucky. This wasn't more of a blowout in the fourth. To me, that's how I saw it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that, again, it was an interesting, I was happy to see the defensive strategies deployed. And it just, again, the reason it feels like it's one that got away is because with those defensive strategies deployed, they flustered the Lakers throughout the game. They forced them to the perimeter and had some bad perimeter shooting. They ultimately shot 17.2% from beyond the arc in this game. And that's what you want, is you want them shooting from the outside. And the flip side of that is with a depleted starting five, again, as I mentioned, they only had a 9-man rotation. We didn't see Metu. We didn't see Keita Bates-Diop. No Azubuike, no Bowles, no Saban Lee. And the reason we didn't see those players is because they are Chimezie Metu, Keita Bates-Diop, Udoka Azubuike, Bol, and Saban Lee. So it was kind of a short bench tonight because these are the players that the Phoenix Suns are going to play with. Durant, Kogi, Nurkic, Gordon, Allen, Eubanks, Watanabe, Little, Goodwin. And then you throw Bradley Beal, you throw Devin Booker in there, and that kind of completes the 11-man rotation that we should see with regularity throughout the season. As No Good says in the chat, Coach had good challenges tonight too. So I think overall, Frank Vogel, I liked what I saw. Even in an L, I liked what I saw from his staff from a defensive deployment standpoint. I'm good with the rotations. I feel like, and something I feel like we kind of experienced in the playoffs last year is in those moments in which like there was no KD or no Booker, Monty would just start throwing shit against the wall. And Frank Vogel stuck with what he wants to work on and what he feels he can do to develop that team chemistry with some of those players. Obviously, in the fourth, you bring back Kevin Durant a little bit early because you're like, well, I'm also trying to win the game. But I like that he was sticking to his guns and he kept the Phoenix Suns rotations as much as he can intact for this game.
Yeah, what a letdown KBD has been. He hasn't even played.
Yeah.
But I mean, is Nazir Little better than KBD? Blaze Megatron asked.
That's a good question. What do you think on
Yeah.
that?
Oh, yeah, obviously. I don't know if Little's even getting enough minutes, though. He played the 13 minutes, but his 2 shots that he did miss, like, they look confident. He's kind of spacing better. He's playing better defensively. The last preseason game, he looked better defensively. I think overall, he's a better just replacement for KBD. He's a bigger dude than I thought he would be on the floor.
Yes.
He makes it difficult for anybody he's guarding. Offensively, I just think he spaces the ball or spaces the floor better right now, and he's not really hitting his shots, obviously, over 2, but he's a guy I feel like I can trust more out there. KBD, I don't know if you could put him in games like this. Games for KBD might be, I don't know, like New Orleans, the Pelicans maybe. Just teams that, the Pelicans are actually pretty good. I was actually thinking about the Charlotte Hornets. I was about to say the New Orleans Hornets. Just teams like that, you might need to test him out there with, because the confidence you have to have. And I think Little has that right now, right? I think in his position, him coming off the bench trying to earn minutes, he has that confidence now that I can see body language wise that he can earn minutes now with the Suns team.
Yeah, I think overall KBD does have more talent, or better holistic player. I think I would say than Nasir Little. But Nasir Little right now is somebody who Frank Vogel is going to be trying out for probably about 10 games and seeing if he can again develop some chemistry, gain some confidence, because he does have a better or a higher ceiling than someone like Keita Bates-Diop has. So that's what Vogel's playing with right now. He's like, with all the talent that we have on this team, we're going to put a guy with high upside out there, see if we can unlock aspects of his game. And if that doesn't work over a 10-game period, then we're going to go with the more fundamentally sound KBD, somebody who also needs a confidence boost. But ultimately, Little's going to be the guy that we're going to be seeing for probably about 10 games. And I think that's the best way to kind of attack this and to approach it from a coaching standpoint. Looking at other aspects of this game, obviously Big Dick Booker was out with the foot injury. There's a pending MRI I heard today, which means that he could be out for 2 games. So Matthew, is this because of his book ones that he wore in the first game against the Golden State Warriors?
God, what is this, like one of those Zion things where he wore his own shoes the first time they broke apart?
Yes.
Just injured him for the rest of his life. Yeah, the worst news ever. I mean, first it was a toe, now it's a sprained foot. So it doesn't look good, right? We're gonna say 2 games right now, but you just know this thing might linger to where it can be. I'm just thinking, this is what I first thought, maybe like a 2-week thing, just to keep him safe. And it sucks because the reason people are so frustrated by it, it's not because it's like, load management or like these guys need time off or it's okay, it's early in the season. Just make sure this doesn't linger and carry towards the end of the season. It's okay to do it right now. It's just the fact that you have new guys on the team. You just want to see them. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the KD thing where he came here, got hurt, and I was so pissed off. But it's like, we still have KD, Matthew, but still, I want to see him play. That's the frustrating part. And when the team just has to get together, kind of gel in a way to really get these kind of wins, you want to see them on the court together. So, of course, it's going to be a little frustrating.
Yeah, how Phoenix Suns is it to get Bradley Beal and then like he's out, Devin Booker's out? Because it just happened with KD last year. I forgot already. It's so normal. Yeah, it's weird. And I think the frustrating thing about Devin Booker not playing and obviously Bradley Beal missing the first 2 games is it's fortifying a lot of the people who are beating that drum all summer long. Well, none of these guys will be healthy. This is a dumb move because of health. And it's one of those things, I guess the best way that I can equate it personally is I'm somebody who works in operations. I was in recreation management. I'm in food and beverage management. So I manage a lot of operations. So let's say that you have a big banquet coming in. You got 1,000 people that you have to feed. There's a lot of little things that you have to do operationally to make that successful, right? And it's almost like you're sitting there and you've come up with an operational game plan on how it's going to work. And you got one person there the whole time telling you, like, it's not going to work. Don't use those sternos. Those sternos are ass. If a wind comes through, it might blow them out, and then you're not going to be able to have your food hot on the banquet line. You're like, no, man, like, trust me, I know this, it works. And then you put on the event, it's a windy day outside, and the sternos are blown out. And there's that guy standing right there, like, see, told you.
Stand in the back.
That's what's going on right now, is you have some of those people who were beating those drums all summer long. They're taking their little victory laps, and it's game 2, everybody. It's game 2. It's not the end of the world. I'd rather have it happen right now than the last 2 games of the season. The Phoenix Suns, without Bradley Beal, without Devin Booker, against the Los Angeles Lakers, a team that national pundits get on their knees to blow on a consistent basis. The Suns were competitive tonight, even though they were out of sync on defense. They were out of sync on offense, primarily with the second team unit on both accounts, defense and offense. They're a team that was their own worst enemy. I wrote the Bright Side of the Sun game preview and recap, and I said you can't turn the ball over tonight. That's got to be it comes down to rebounding, so not allowing extra possessions and not turning the ball over. They turned the ball over 24 times. After turning the ball over a shit ton of times against the Golden State Warriors. You do things like that, you're going to lose. They gave up 29 points off turnovers in a game in which the opposition in the Lakers only scored 100 points. So all of that's happening. The growing that this team, did you see the list on TNT where it just like showed the graphic of all in and out? It's like, it's going to take time to develop chemistry. Yes. And we still only lost by 5. I know there's no moral victories, but like, I'm not upset about this loss, nor does it feel like a lot of the Jamsters in the chat are either.
I'm not upset. It's the fact that it's the Lakers. And even in the preseason games, these games are hard fought from both sides. I know it's only game 2, but to me, I feel like every game, especially the West, does matter. And when you're missing your guys and you come so close, you lose by 5, it is a moral victory in a way, but you want to see these guys out there. And I just think that what the Lakers brought tonight just kind of showed you what they are too. You know what I mean? It's like you have Anthony Davis in spurts, and then here comes LeBron to close it out. So then that's what KD was missing tonight, was just that other guy to help him out.
100%.
Yeah, and he's missing those shots. It's not like, oh, KD, like you fucking suck, KD. No, it's not that. Don't take that as a screen grab right there. I don't really mean it. He doesn't suck. He just got too tired. So they have each other over there with LA. We don't have our other guys. We're going to have to wait. It's going to be a long motherfucking season. Like, it's so crazy to come into these seasons and just be like, oh, yeah, Beal, Booker, Durant, like the big 3. Hell yeah. But it's like, we're Suns fans, so we have to be expecting not the worst, but there's going to be a little bit of a fire in the kitchen, I feel like, sometimes this season. So this is one of them. All right. It'll be put out hopefully in a week or 2, I feel like.
And the key to success is to not put flour on a fire in the kitchen. Use baking soda. Okay.
Is that it? I was going to ask you, like, how do you put it out? Because you're the man to know, right?
Yeah, you put on the baking soda, man. I'll never forget. I was a cook in the Army for 10 years, right? Three active, 7 National Guard, and being in the kitchen one time, our mess daddy, right, like the dining facility staff sergeant or sergeant first class. Somebody had a grease fire going. We're making a roux. A roux is, some oil. You put some flour on it. You make it into a roux. It's a stock, whatever. Some guy had let his oil get too low, and all of a sudden there was a grease fire. And he comes, the mess daddy comes down. He looks around. I'm over there like cutting vegetables or something, and he grabs a big bag of flour and puts it on the grease fire, and it's a massive fireball. It's like, dude, how do you not know? It's like. You throw the baking soda on that shit, or baking powder, one of the two, something that says baking, not flour, on it, and that's just a random.
As he's laying there, just fried on the floor. Like, how do you not know, dude?
I'm like, dude, where? He's like, his eyebrows are gone. He's just like, he's like, I'm like, but how do you not know, Sergeant? But a couple of guys I want to talk about tonight.
Where's my dog?
Jordan
There's my dog.
Still don't got a graphic.
Oh, I don't. I was looking at this. Yeah, I knew this was going to happen. I apologize, everyone. Jams. At first, it's subreddit. Last pod. Now it's no Jordan Goodwin.
Well,
graphic.
But you did the subreddit tonight, so we're groovy. So
sure, I did.
You totally redeemed yourself, which we appreciate. Jordan Goodwin tonight, 30 minutes played. We knew he would get a lot of play off the bench. 14 total points, 6 of 15 from the field, only 1 of 5 from beyond the arc. But he had 6 rebounds, couple assists, couple steals. Jordan Dogwin. What are your thoughts on this? I'm loving this guy personally, man.
Yeah. The floater, dude. He has the best floater on the Suns team. He does. He missed one that he tried to bank in, but he was automatic on all of the other ones. And there's nothing I like more than a good floater. That's all I like is a good floater. It's like it's it's insane when you love a guy so much for his defensive capabilities, and he comes out there. He has some unique passing skills too, and all of a sudden he's just in the lane. I'm like, what's he gonna do? Oh, there goes the floater. Hey, and it looks great. It's the best thing to have on a player that's going to be a fan favorite and probably the hardest guy out there, other than I feel like Okogie, who they look exactly the same out there on the court.
Yes.
I thought they were the exact same player, but too many minutes for him, right? I mean, I don't know what else you want from him, right?
No,
I mean, when you're trying to rely on him to like make a shot or do something, he's not going to be that guy. He's still out there with KD.
yes.
And he just can't get that done though.
No, he's our second team guy that we're going to fall in love with and be infatuated with the way that he plays defense, with how he has that grit and that intensity. And we saw it on display tonight. And I thought it was highly enjoyable basketball. As soon as I saw the floater, I was like, oh, Stephon Marbury light. And I know that even though we keep saying the word floater, and it sounds like somebody who didn't flush or maybe did an upper decker, if you don't know much about Matthew loves guys who got sick float game. Like you loved Stephon Marbury. Jason Kidd had that float game a little bit. I mean, that's kind of like a Lissyism, right? Like you love
Tony
guys. Tony Parker had a great float game too. I fucking hated that goddamn floater.
That guy.
I hate him so much. But not the greatest assist guy. I will say that simply because I had a little parlay tonight. And I had AD over 2.5 blocks where the dude abided. And I needed 2.5 assists from Jordan Goodwin. He only had 2. I was like, come on, man. That whole fourth quarter, he's like, I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, it was a free bet thing. It was like, bet $5 or some shit. And I was like, okay, I'll just do this and try to make a little money. I did cash in on a Chris Godwin touchdown tonight in the Bucks.
Did you remember football was on tonight? Okay, so I've been setting. So I want to just hear something really funny.
Yes.
Last weekend, this is hilarious. Everyone, I hope you're sitting down. Last weekend is like the first weekend I didn't do any waivers or do anything. I set my lineup 5 minutes before.
What? Who are you?
First kickoff, and I went 4-0. 4-0. First time I've done that in forever. I went 4-0.
What did you learn?
Just don't give a shit, and you'll still make it in this world.
Don't give a shit. That's what you have to do. I watched the first half of the football game. I watched that, and then when I knew the Suns game was getting close, when halftime hit, I went over to the Milwaukee Bucks and the 76ers. I watched the end of that game, and then I got off work early tonight, so
okay.
I made sure that I came in and just watched some football, watched some basketball. A couple call-offs at work, but I got some things covered. And I was like, you know what? I'm
doing those call-outs, dude.
Telling you, man,
over there are not doing their job.
I need to be Gru for Halloween. That's what it comes down to, just to kind of keep it real with them. So, a couple things I wanted to hit on. An old segment, an oldie but a goodie. Let's dust this one off a little bit.
Reggie says,
"Can Reggie Miller on the TNT broadcast, man? Just gold." By Reggie Miller. There's the one play early in the game where I think D'Lo's passing the ball in the interior and Reggie's like, oh, great pass. It's like just turned over. Like it was an interception on the play.
Yes.
And another time where he was just LeBron on a chase down block. And then they showed the replay and it's a clear goal. It's like not even close to being a correct call. They got it wrong. That's another one that Frank Vogel could have overturned. But Reggie Miller, he's already in NBA Finals form.
Yeah, he is. And the one thing that drives me nuts, and everyone does it all year, is just the 21 years of LeBron. Like
every time he mentioned his name, he had to mention the fact that it was the 21st year of LeBron.
Yeah, but you're going to hear it all season long.
Yes.
That's the one thing. I mean, you know what? If I was doing his job, backstage, just hanging out, trying to go over notes, I'd write down, 21 years. Everyone's going to love to hear that. That's how I guess that's how they think. Like I guess that's what I would do. I don't know what else to talk about.
There you go. 21 years. So at the free throw line, LeBron James in his 21st year. Oh, he made a free throw in his 21st year. It's kind of like John Madden at the end of his career. Was just like, if you want to get a first down, you need to get 10 yards, right, Pat? And Pat Summerall's there, just like a shriveled raisin. Just like, yeah, John, whatever you say. Turducken, buddy. And that's like Reggie Miller when it comes to his word vomit when it comes to LeBron and just overall love of the Lakers. And of course, that's, us being facetious. Anytime you're watching a broadcast, it always feels like they're talking about the opposing team ad nauseum. It's just the fact that LeBron James over and over and over and over and over and over again. We heard that it was his 21st year.
Nurkic Watch.
Yusuf Nurkic in this here game, a total of 14. Oh, that's last week's. Or that's the last one.
Whoopsie, I forgot to delete that one.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. I saw 14 rebounds. I'm like, that wasn't Nurkic. 28 points, only 4 points in this game. Do you know what we call scoring 4 points around here, Matthew?
What's that?
That's called pulling a DeAndre Ayton in his debut with the Portland Trailblazers. He scored 4 points. He had 9 total rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists, 5 personal fouls, 1 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 overall. What were your thoughts on Big Nurk tonight?
Is it weird that I don't hate it? I know you mentioned DeAndre Ayton, but we would come in here and just destroy Ayton because, you know, we saw that game in preseason where he did the same exact thing against the same exact guy, Anthony Davis. Wasn't as bad. I think Nurk needs everybody else around him for sure. I think he's definitely the facilitator when Beal, Book, and KD are out there. He can start to get things going, but it just doesn't look right. As soon as he grabs the ball, there's just commotion going on around him. He's losing the ball everywhere. He's trying to make things happen, not making the right play. But I'm just like, oh, that's Nurk. But then also in the first half, I'm like, I thought he played pretty decent. I know the stats weren't there, but I mean, he was doing his job. Really, you just have to have a confident center. The fouls are going to be there. They're going to be there. And you know what? With Eubanks backing him up, he didn't do his job either. So those guys, it's a lose-lose really with both those guys against Anthony Davis.
Yes.
But for the most part, the game wasn't too bad. You just can't rely on him to get anything done because he's too slow. When he tries to back down Anthony Davis at the end of the game to try to get, you know, an easy bucket or something, and he loses the ball, it's like, I expect that. I don't get upset because I just don't have any expectations that as much as I did with DeAndre Ayton, but I just know that when Nurkic is surrounded by the full core, he's going to look even better, and he's going to have better games against the lesser centers, not Anthony Davis. This is just what happens.
Yeah, AD is an all-NBA center. Raphael in the chat says 5 turnovers from that bum. Do you think that Nurk's a bum?
No, I don't. I really don't. No, not right now.
Maya says that Nurk moves like a turtle.
We know that, though.
Yeah.
We know that.
And he gets paid to do that.
Yeah, like, I mean, do you blame him for this loss?
No.
I don't, really.
Is it a disappointing performance when you look at the stat sheet? Yes. Is it expected? Yes. That's, again, as you stated and what we witnessed last week against Anthony Davis and what we knew coming in, that this was going to be a matchup that just doesn't favor him. And Freddie says in the chat, Jokic will eat him alive. Jokic will eat him because Jokic eats everybody, but I don't think alive. I don't think so. I think that Nurkic has a good history against Jokic. I think that because of the lack of speed that Jokic plays with, Nurk has the ability to stay in front of him and negate some effectiveness, especially on the rebounding side when it comes to Jokic. And Anthony Davis is long and athletic and can, in 2 steps, get right by him. So, yeah, I there's definitely a lot of people I saw on, Twitter/X tonight during the game who are kind of shitting on Nurkic. I'm just not there. I don't think I'm there yet. And I think it's probably because it's post-Ayton. I'm post the Ayton trauma. And I don't, much akin to yourself, have the expectations for Nurkic. I look at, every time I see Nurkic, I look at a combo. I go, okay, we've got Nurkic, but we also got in that deal Nasir Little, who gave us minutes tonight, Grayson Allen, who gave us minutes tonight, we'll talk about momentarily. And I think that, you look at Ayton and you broke him down for pieces, and those pieces ultimately are going to help you win ball games. And although he didn't have a great a great performance tonight, as So Says Jay says in the chat, let's not discount the fact that Nurk was in foul trouble because Justin Van Dyne is terrible at his job. That's 100% correct. If you recall, Justin Van Dyne is the referee who, when we played the Lakers, I want to say 2 years ago, double teed up Devin Booker when Devin Booker was cooking and kicked him out of the game. And the Suns lost that game. That was Justin Van Dyne. I'll never forget it because our buddy in the chat from the Fanning the Flames podcast, So Says Jay, who's a savage when it comes to his knowledge of Taylor Swift random lyrics, pointed it out, and I've noticed it ever since. Like, So Says Jay knows every ref, and he'll tell you who, what, when, where, and how they've sucked at their job. And Justin Van Dyne did that again tonight.
Yeah, encyclopedia of knowledge over there from So Says Jay when it comes to refs. And the one thing with Nurk too is he gives a fuck out there always. Like that's why, because he's always talking. He's always in the middle of things, and he might lose the ball, and he's gonna have the turnovers, and he's gonna have the shitty layups that he's gonna miss. But he gives a fuck out there, man. That's probably why it's a big difference. It's because there's not any plays. You're like, dude, what are you doing? At least he's doing it, but he's losing the ball while doing it.
And again, there was some the tic tac fouls are just kind of annoying. The other guy that won that deal was Grayson Allen.
Oh, Grayson Allen, our fuck shit up guy.
Hasn't been fucking shit up thus far this season. 35 minutes played, 2 of 6 from the field, 6 total points because they were both from beyond the arc. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, no turnovers from Grayson Allen because it didn't feel like he was out there the entire game, Matthew. We've talked about it in the past, kind of the guys who disappear and are like, oh shit, he's out there. If I had told you that Grayson Allen played 35 minutes tonight, that he played the second most minutes out of all Phoenix Suns, would you have believed me?
I would have never believed you, but would he have been like, holy shit, I'm going to start the first 2 games for the Suns and play 35 minutes? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's
just out there. He's a sack of potatoes, man. He's not really moving around. He's just kind of what I see is just down on himself, doesn't believe in himself. That's how it looks. So I'm not really familiar with Grayson Allen too much, right? I haven't really watched him too much, but getting played out of a game again, but being on the floor at the same time, it's just kind of a difficult thing to do, I think.
Yeah, it's not the role that I think he expected that the Phoenix Suns during their training camp had envisioned for him. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's thrown right into it. And that's another thing we have to remember here, Jamsters, is in the past, training camp was like a month long. It's like 2.5 weeks right now. Boom, 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 get out there and play. And we're going to have these issues in the season, especially early on. And the nice thing that we have is we have a somewhat easy schedule coming up. We play the Jazz, who lost to the the Sacramento Kings in their first game. And when we play them on Saturday, it'll be the second night of a back-to-back for them. Then we got 2 against Wemby and the San Antonio Spurs, which will be exciting to watch because in theory that team's not going to be good. But, with Victor Wembanyama, you never know what's going to happen. But it's just interesting that Grayson Allen has been thrown into this situation, and of course he's not playing accordingly because it's not really what he's been designed to do.
No, and I do think though we're gonna have some good games by him, but right now it's just kind of like he's feeling himself out there what to do, and he doesn't seem like he really wants the ball to do anything. And when he does have the ball, he's not making the correct play, right? I don't think he is, and I think he knows that too, but he just doesn't know what to do with it. That's how it looks.
Agreed. Completely agree. He's just got to learn to get that rhythm. Jason L in the chat says, Suns got no size. I don't know if that's necessarily true. Did you know that the Phoenix Suns have out-rebounded their opponents, not only the first 2 games, but in every game in the preseason as well, they out-rebounded their opponents. So the Suns are a good rebounding team. They had some struggles in their last game with some allowing Dario Saric to get offensive rebounds. And in this game, I think that the rebound was very, very good, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's just they play crazy, like with tenacity. They're just out there. The first half with the Lakers, man, the fight in them was just so much bigger than what the Lakers brought. They were just out hustling every play, and that's how they do it. Size is, it doesn't always matter, right? I don't think. I think Corey Flynn says, just really quick, Corey Flynn says, agree Metu out there would be nice. I guess they're talking about Metu in the chat.
It would have been nice for some Eubanks
but do we
minutes.
do that right now where we're just like, oh, you should have played this guy and we might have won?
Oh, we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that all season because I believe that
that's what we do.
Well, no, and I think that Suns fans believe that this team is deep. And because of our depth, we're like, anytime we don't win a game or a guy doesn't play successful, clearly putting somebody else in would have been successful. I, too, would have liked to see some Eubanks minutes when Nurkic got his 4th foul. It's like, pull him out of the game, put Metu out there for like 3 minutes and just see what happens. Would he get owned by AD? Probably, because that's what they would do. But maybe on offense, it would have allowed us some 5-out opportunities, and we might have hit a basket, or somebody could hit a basket that wasn't named Kevin Durant in this game. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to it.
And really quick too, Jonathan since 80_80. Said agreed, and I guess they're talking about. Look at me, I'm always picking like the last chat in there. I guess they're talking about KD in there. Agreed. Point KD not ideal for sure. I just think that KD, if the guys know what to do on the move and where to cut and stuff, he'll be fine. Because I think, John, you talked about KD being our point guard, basically, right? Going to lead the team in assists.
Yeah,
it'll be there as soon as they have
the turnovers come with it.
Yeah, so
I will say two things. One, Jordan Goodwin's better than Campaign. I did write that down.
Yeah.
I am loving the uniforms more and more.
Me too.
Like, I'm loving them. Like, these are beautiful. They're not the top jerseys we've ever had as a part of this organization, but like our away jerseys, again, it's the subtle things. It's the white color of the number on the back with the orange font instead of it being like orange and then gray. I don't know. You're watching it on national TV. You see the graphics. You see KD shooting in that jersey, and it just looks beautiful. And I thought that I'd just give that a quick little shout before we head on the subreddit.
The Lakers and Suns, like, it just looks good together too. Pops more.
That's a good thought. All right, you ready to tell me about what you saw on the subreddit?
Shut the fuck up.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
Look, we're wearing the same hat.
Hey, look at that.
What's the front of your hat look like?
Let me see. I don't even know. Watch, it's a Lakers hat.
Oh, it's pretty close to mine.
Oh,
yeah, except mine's a flexi fit, and you got the flat brim. All right, well, I was hanging out there in Los Angeles, City of Angels. I was out there in the San Fernando Valley tonight, and this is what I saw on the subreddit. Letting old-ass Eric Gordon get tip-ins is not ideal. Remember when Eric Gordon was getting tip-ins at the beginning of the game? That was fun. I swear to God, bruh, I miss the Kobe era so much. We used to thrash teams like this. They're still living in the past out there in LA. I don't want to overreact, man, but we suck. Please find a way to win this game, because at this rate, it's going to be like last year again. Then somebody responded, "This proves Vogel wasn't the problem. AD is so unserious. Some of y'all need a Xanax, man." And somebody responded, "I'm already on Xanax." KD gets every call. I do want to say it's nice to have a player who gets a lot of whistles. You know, ultimately, we didn't shoot as many free throws as the Los Angeles Lakers did. We shot 23. They shot 29. That's kind of par for the course. Whenever you play the Lakers, they shoot more free throws. I literally did research on that last year, and it's like 80% of their games in which they play, the Lakers shot more free throws than the opposition, and the Suns, it was like 18%. Like, we never, but the fact that you have Kevin Durant and he shot 13 free throws is something that you have to appreciate, because again, it's something that we don't necessarily know how to experience, because Booker never gets to the line. They never give him the calls.
Yeah. KD should have had more too. He got fouled on more shots.
Oh, big time. And they just, they weren't giving him the Dame Lillard treatment. I think Dame had 17 free throws tonight, but yeah, he should have been up that high at very least. This is a good observation. And this was happening obviously during the third quarter, where the Suns were having their way with the Lakers. A reminder, in that third quarter, the Phoenix Suns outscored them 32-24, shot 58% from the field, shot 50% from beyond the arc. We're at the line. I mean, they had a really good quarter. And somebody in the Lakers subreddit stated, "Watch the Suns on offense. Eubanks sets like 10 screens each possession. Players are moving. Durant is coming off screens. They're forcing switches and exploiting mismatches. Look at the Lakers offense. They're ball watching whoever has the ball. This is 100% on the coaches." What are your thoughts on that comment?
It's nice, and it had me thinking as you were saying that. It's like, it was moving good. I think when KD got too tired, there was no more screens, no more running around screens.
Yeah, I agree.
Just settle for the shot.
That's what it was in the fourth quarter. Is all that ball movement that we saw went away, and everyone started doing just that. They started watching Kevin Durant with the ball, and just him. That he'd still get the screens, but
he didn't want to go around the screens. I think he was too tired.
He was too tired.
He used all the energy in the first half.
He needed somebody else to do. He needed to have the ball up at the top of the key and have cutters. And that's one thing I got to say. Who was it? There was somebody. I think it was Nurkic a couple times, man. He missed some wide open cutters, man. Eric Gordon cut, Grayson Allen cut, and they were like, it was like a touchdown pass, and he was just like, nah, and he passed it to KD out on on the wing. I was like, oh man, miss those. Katie is like Omar from The Wire. He coming.
Shit.
You watch The Wire, right?
Yeah, shit. That one guy that says shit.
Yeah, shit.
Shit. He's my favorite.
I want to watch The Wire again, man. That's
I gotta
a good
rewatch
fucking
it.
show.
I'm
man.
waiting to get wifed up over here, and then I can watch it again.
And
You
you know,
know?
like, hey, honey, let's watch The Wire. And she's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm watching
Give me
Real
6 years.
Housewives. Ugh, Katie's beard is so disgusting, but that shot is so pure. Facts, ladies and gentlemen.
The Suns Jam Session subreddit stakeout.
I like how we switched our hats back.
I switched mine before, so
I know, it's funny. What else did you have in your notes, Matthew?
You know,
Sorry.
I don't have anything. It's funny. We always go over everything. We really do. The only thing is Yuta just defensively was kind of a little suspect tonight. He should have had like a third quick foul there. They let it go when he hit Jackson Hayes in the face. But even Justin Jefferson, whatever his
Justin Van Dyne.
whatever his name is. But they were talking about, it should have been a foul. Like when Jackson Hayes comes in and plays 3
Mark
explosive
Jackson.
minutes. And he gets hit in the face, but he passed the ball out. It's like, they're not going to call that foul, man. But Yuta was a little suspect today. I just think that he's not really feeling himself defensively, getting beat, trying to take charges and kind of like push himself into the guy. So it didn't look too good from him tonight.
Yeah, he was scrambling on defense for sure. I mean, he only played 15 minutes of everybody who played for the Suns outside of Nasir Little tonight. He played the fewest amount of minutes. He was a negative 14 in that 15 minutes. So when he was on the court defensively, the Suns were trashing.
Yeah.
They were exploiting him, and he was willing to be exploited, kind of like your mom. So I think that moving forward, it's going to be something that he's going to come in and just be a fireball three-point shooter, not being relied on defense, because the Lakers were smart. They were like, okay, Yuta's out there. We're putting LeBron James out there too, and he's just going to assist in picking this guy apart. One thing I did want to talk about, obviously some news. Well, I'll do some news afterwards. Let's go ahead and let's hand out some Jam Star of the Game hardware.
Jam Star of the Game.
There's a reminder, if you're listening, go ahead, subscribe, or give us a 5-star rating, rather, on Apple Podcasts. You rate us 5 stars. You write a comment. We read it right here on the podcast. Yay. If you're watching it, a thumbs up, whatever the fuck. All right, Matthew, who are you giving your Jam Star of the Game to?
Jeez, who am I giving it to? Josh Okogie.
Okogie?
Yeah, sure. Let's give it to him.
Why? Because KD's going to win a bunch this year?
Nah, I'm going to give it to KD.
Okay, fuck. I'm typing this down now.
Yeah, no, of course I'm going to give it to KD.
I got a spreadsheet.
It was his game tonight. LeBron can't come
color-coded.
in the fourth and just all of a sudden just hit some layups, and it's like, oh, this is LeBron's game. No, KD was there all fucking
21st
game.
year. Yeah, it's Kevin fucking Durant. You know who he is. He's Kevin Durant. That's an easy one for me.
Snipper.
And it was just so much fun to watch. I'm so happy that Kevin Durant's on our team, man. Seeing him, he was hustling his ass off tonight.
I know.
He was. He played the entire first, the entire third. He created a bunch of one-on-one opportunities for himself, and that's how he really started to dissect the Los Angeles Lakers, because when they would throw the doubles and the triples at him, he would pass out of them effectively, and the Suns were assisting, and they were burning them. So ultimately, he got his matchups. I mean, just seeing him out there on your team, it's beautiful, man. I wish we had him like 7 years ago when he was younger, because I know we only got like 2 or 3 years of KD. But, man, he was fucking fantastic tonight, man. So that's who I get. If you take a look at the Jamsters in the chat, Kiko's giving it to KD, as is Kevin Thomas. D-Wing 24 gives it to J.O. The Sniper is from Joey Lucio. Blaze Megatron, one of our elite Jamsters, gives it to KD. Maya B to KD, easy money. Corey Flynn, who scored the second most points? I literally have no clue. Not a good sign for the night. It was Eric Gordon. Joneson gives it to KD. Goodwin, an honorable mention from Blaze Megatron. Aussie Suns fans, KD, obviously. We both were wrong in our prediction in the fact that the Suns would win this game. We take a look at the next game for the Phoenix Suns. That's incorrect. We play the Utah Jazz on Saturday. At home, our home opener is against the Utah Jazz on the 28th, 7 p.m. We will be joined by Suns Geek, as I will not be here. I will be attending a Halloween party. So I definitely will pop in dressed as Forrest Gump. I will be Forrest Gump, and I'll just come on the podcast and just go, how about them Phoenix Suns? But yeah, looking at the Utah Jazz, is this a win or a loss for the Suns?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's go with a win, dude. Who knows who's gonna play, right?
Yeah,
I don't.
true.
Why do you think that was the Spurs, dude?
Because we got 2 coming up.
Oh, they
against the
played them.
Spurs.
They played them Halloween night. Oh my god.
Yeah, correct. They play them Halloween and then the 2nd. So, yeah, I think this is a win for the Suns. The verdict is obviously still going to be out on Devin Booker. We don't know if he's going to be playing. Beal hopefully will play. That's what I'm really hoping. As long as you got 2 of those guys out there. But obviously, KD went out and put out 39 minutes today. It's like, you had a great piece for Bright Side of the Sun that is the most viewed article that we have on the site today. And that's about how the early injury reports are going to affect KD in the long run because, he shouldn't be shouldering an offensive load. What he did tonight is fantastic to watch, but it's not going to be expected. As you stated in your article, like, you're going to get 1 good game out of KD a week. We got it tonight. Like, we shouldn't expect a 39-point performance on Saturday, should we?
No, not at all. It's not like we're going to get blown out. I think the effort's going to be there from everybody else, but KD just cannot do that again. I don't think, but he already proved me wrong because I kind of thought the way he started the first tonight where he was going to kind of just look like all game. I thought it was going to be that all game where he's just kind of missing shots. He proved me wrong. So if he can come out and just have another good maybe half, this team has a chance. I mean, Utah's not that great of a team, obviously, but KD might get us the win this time. I really hope he does, man. I hope he does.
I just hope we get a dub, man. Losing to the Jazz.
I don't want to be 1-2.
I don't want to be 1-2. It just sounds gross. It sounds absolutely gross.
It's our fantasy team. Start 1-2 always.
Yeah, that is how you always start. I finally got a loss in fantasy. It was very upsetting this weekend.
What are you talking about? In basketball?
Oh yeah, no, not basketball. I was talking about fantasy football. The NBA hates Phoenix. That's what I got. That's what I got to throw out there. Spoke. 2 things have happened to the Suns. I want to get your thought on these. The first one, the Suns lost a 2nd-round pick for tampering for Drew Eubanks. Doesn't everybody do that? Like, there's a moratorium, all this stuff, and now we're
how do they come up with that? How do they know who? Like, I'm sure there was a report that was put out there, but how do they seriously know? Like, hey, they were talking to Drew Eubanks before you can actually talk to him. Like, how do they figure that out?
Information? Yeah, like somebody submitted a text message. Like, well, the Suns look
Drew
like
Eubanks.
Yeah, like
he's good, but like, what tampering on Drew Eubanks? They're gonna find anything they can.
And we got no picks, and then they take one from us.
I think the league doesn't like HBO now because HBO is like, fuck all your fucking like aprons and all that shit. We're just gonna spend as much money as we can here in Phoenix, and they hate that.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, we'll take a 2nd-round pick. We'll try to hamper you. And then they hit Josh Okogie with a flopping foul. $2,000. He was fined for flopping in the last game. I don't remember when it occurred. I can tell you 3 times when it happened against us.
Yes.
Not to us. But Josh Okogie's the one. How many other players have been hit with a flopping foul to start the season? I don't think that there's been anybody else.
We would have heard about it. And LeBron didn't either. That won the first game of the season. Like, you know what I mean? You see it all the time. And Okogie, you would know for sure. But they had to like really dig into tape then and be like, all right, well, he didn't get touched at all. And he took a fall. Like, I don't see it. We would call it too. Like, Chris Paul flops, all of them flop.
Oh yeah.
Okogie doesn't flop to me. He doesn't. He takes charges for real.
Yeah, I felt persecuted. These past couple days. Yeah, like what is next? Like what kind of 25 game suspension for a diuretic do you have up your sleeve now, NBA? Bunch of
Is that why Beal's really sitting out?
It's a silent protest. He actually is a diuretic. They just didn't release it. No, that
he's
shit
diabetic. I know.
He's diabetic. Yeah, not diuretic. He's got diabetic. The court is like insulin So he's got to get away from there.
Childhood trauma.
I think we'll take a couple moments at the back end of this podcast. Just do some childhood trauma.
Nice.
So a couple suggestions in the chat. Kiko, sports trauma, a game or a series? I mean, we're trauma bonded human beings.
Yeah.
Do you have a specific game or a series that just ripped your heart out?
Well, I mean, when I was a child, I used to go to a lot of Cardinals games, and my brother-in-law was a Giants fan. So I used to always pay my face, and I was a Cowboys fan, but used to love to go to games, and I would root for the Giants too. So I'd pay my face, Giants colors. We sat on the upper deck, old ASU stadium, of course, trash out there. Just people are trash. They would just never leave me alone. I don't know what. I don't know if they were attracted to me or something. These guys it was weird, but like I was like 8 or 9 years old, painting my face. And I just remember these guys like always so drunk. And there was one time when this guy would not leave me alone. He like followed me around and was like harassing me, dude. It was the weirdest thing.
How old were you?
I was like 8 or 9. I was super young, and I went back to my seat, and my brother-in-law and everybody was there, and the guy came up there. He kept yelling at me, and then they almost like started fighting him and stuff. So
Jeez.
I guess he had no idea who I was with or whatever. But it was a really weird time for me when that was happening. So yeah, that was kind of traumatic.
Yeah, I can see that trauma. I think trying to think of traumatic like in-person events, going to games. I remember my first baseball game, my first football game, my first basketball game. None of them were traumatic. I remember one of the most upset I've ever been after a game was back in 95 when the Suns lost for the second consecutive year in Game 7 to the Houston Rockets in the second round or Western Conference Finals, whatever it was. And Mario Elie hitting the daggers. And I remember just throwing a remote and like just being so upset for weeks. Because I honestly thought that team was something this was the year. Like there's no Jordan in the league. This is the year. And I was so unbelievably upset. But I will say one that I experienced in person, obviously this isn't childhood trauma. This is more of adult trauma because I could buy my own tickets. Although these are tickets that my mom got me for my birthday or for Christmas one year. Big Notre Dame fan, going to see Notre Dame play ASU at ASU Stadium. Oh shit. Every time I saw Notre Dame, but ASU Stadium, Notre Dame ranked. I get to see them, got great seats, and Notre Dame just gets fucking blown out. Just plays like shit right off the bat. And of course, everybody's happy. And then I went to the Fiesta Bowl a few years ago when Ohio State came to town with Ezekiel Elliott and Notre Dame played, and we had Jalen Smith. And like Ezekiel Elliott did a juke move on Jalen Smith, and he non-contact just like blew his knee out. He was done. Notre Dame just gets fucking thrashed in the Fiesta Bowl. I wake up early on a January 1st morning to drive out there in the cold to go see Notre Dame just get butt fucked on in person. It was just that was traumatic. That really didn't make me feel good. Blaze Megatron's got one more, then we'll get out of here. Childhood trauma subject: biggest lie my parents ever told me.
You got one? I don't know yet. I mean, of course you could say Santa
They took
Claus.
me to church my whole life. That was bullshit, huh?
Yeah, I went to church this last week. I'm like, I need to come back more. I like it. It's nice and soothing. It might be a new thing. It might be coming back. A big lie. Shit, I don't know. I mean, the whole life is a lie. I don't
That
think
they
adults
loved
are really
me?
adults. Yeah, that they loved me. That it wasn't my fault for the divorce. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, everything. They lied to me my whole life. That's what you do to kids. You lie to them the whole time.
You just
And
don't
grow
tell
up
them
and
the whole
realize, oh yeah,
truth.
it was a fucking lie.
Yeah. They lied to me that they were responsible financially. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one because
Yeah, it is.
so much, as you mentioned, is parents lying to their kids just to shut us up in the back seat or whatever. Are we almost there yet? Yeah. That's all we really got there. So I think that's all we got on this podcast. Suns lose. Okay. 1-1. Okay. We play the Jazz next. We only got 80 more games to go until the playoffs. So hopefully Devin Booker will play this season. I will say that I'm looking forward to the news that Devin Booker's okay to play because, with an MRI pending, and I mean, that's scary stuff. And I hope that he's obviously okay. I feel bad for Kevin Durant. It's like, fuck, can I just have the 2 other guys that I want to play with?
I know.
Can I just play with them for the love of Pete?
Doesn't make any sense, man. It really doesn't. It's a Suns thing, dude. I'm surprised we got this KD game today. I'm blown away that we actually got a KD game. I'm serious.
Would have been nice in a victory. So, anyways, Jamsters, again, thanks for hanging out with us after the post game, as per usual. The Suns Jam Session podcast, shooting the shit about the Phoenix Suns since 2019. Matthew, what can they do?
Go home, love your family.
Even if they lie to you.